Hello and welcome to the 49th episode of The Little Inside. In a miraculous way, my name is still Tobi. And this week we're going to talk a little bit about the sense of self. So let's get started right after the intro. Throughout our lifetime, all of us are constantly busy maintaining, upgrading, looking after their sense of self. The me, the mine. This is the most important thing to all of us, is this sense of me. The me that interacts with the world around, the me that is attacked or threatened by the world around, the me that looks at itself, the me that complains about itself, I'm not good enough, I'm a winner, I can do this. It's all based on that sense of self, that sense of we, us, me. That's the most important thing in the entire world. It's me. The ultimate threat to that sense of self, to this me, to this sense of mine, is death, disintegration, impermanence, loss, failure. So death obviously has many faces. It's not just physical death. It's the death of a relationship. It's the death of things we like, the falling away, the end of things we like, we cherish. And again, what is cherishing those things? What likes those things? It's me. It's my relationship, my girlfriend, my wife, my family. And we are really afraid of losing these things that create that sense of who I am. So we are constantly busy throughout our entire lifetime reinforcing that sense of me and shielding that me from anything that threatens it, which is decay, the end, falling away, impermanence, fading away. That is something that the me is really, really threatened by. That little me has to constantly find out how it compares to other people around it, how it makes itself look in this world, how it appears to others. It has to worry about how it performs, what will happen to it, and it has to worry about what happened to it in the past. So that self is constantly in a state of fear and agitation and restlessness. It can't rest because it has so many things that it needs to control and to organize and to manage. I have to manage myself, my emotions, my thoughts, my life, my friends, my family, my enemies. I have to manage so much. Why? Because I'm so threatened by the universe, by the way things actually are, by the fact that I cannot control other people. I cannot control how they perceive me. I cannot control that I will die. I cannot control that I will lose things that are really dear to me, that are really important to me. I cannot control the world, climate change, all these things that are happening, by the way, since millions of years. The world is acting and reacting to the way its inhabitants are, to the way natural laws behave, and just the vastness of it. This gigantic universe and its various changes, its various laws of balance are so profound and not governable by that little me or that little tiny us, that it becomes a great threat. It fuels the sense of fear, the sense of separateness from this universe. Because that's one thing, that's another thing, right? It's a fear-based thing, the self, and on the other hand, it also is that which is most separate from everything else. Well, there is me and then there's everything else, right? That's a huge separation. There's me and then there is the universe. And I am seemingly in that universe. That's how that self perceives itself to be. Separate from the universe, in the universe. Like a fish that's in the water. So this kind of self, with this continuous threat around it of a world that falls away, that does what it doesn't want the world to do, it's very hard to actually feel genuinely at peace, genuine happiness, genuine sense of well-being. So it makes great sense to look further into that sense of self and to understand it properly. So once you understand it, you can let go of it. When you can let go of it, there is peace. We create a sense of self based on our physical body. We create a sense of self based on our emotional, energetic feeling state. And we create a sense of self based on our thoughts, the mental stuff, our opinions and judgments and so forth. The first kind of example would be, I'm a man. That is a sense of self based on the body. I am a man. The second type, the emotional being, says, I am angry. And the third type, I am an intellectual. I am a philosopher. So we can identify with various conditions. The condition of the body, the condition of emotional feeling, energy, moods, and so forth, and the condition of mental constructs, mental ideas and perceptions and so forth. And we can identify with those things. So this is how a sense of self is actually born. I can feel as if I am that body. I can feel as if I am this emotion which is passing through. I can feel as if I am that political or social thought construct that passes through. So we can feel as if we were all these things that actually just pass through. And so that creates a very unstable sense of self. Because the body is unstable, it doesn't last. So self is threatened by that again. Emotions are unstable, they don't last. In case you haven't noticed yet, there is not one single emotion that lingers and that stays. And thoughts don't last. They change so rapidly. So all these things that we define ourselves by or with, they constantly change. They're constantly evolving. What you have thought when you were 5 years old, you're not thinking that anymore. Who you thought you were when you were 20 and now you're in your 30s or in your 40s, you're not thinking like that anymore. Your thoughts about yourself have changed, and so that sense of self is continuously morphing and changing. It's like an amoeba. It's constantly changing its form, its shape. It is something very unreliable. The key to going beyond that sense of self lies in actually seeing the body, the emotional feeling tone, and the thoughts that we have as conditioned phenomena that follow the laws of nature, that are caused and that create results and that arise, change, fall away continuously, just conditioned stuff, if you want to say so. So what's the body? The body, it consists of cells, it consists of atoms, it's basically just a bunch of bones, a little bit of meat, there's some blood, there's some other liquids in the body. The body is simply consisting of matter. It's just atomic stuff. And so that matter, essentially, is that really something that we own? We can ask ourselves, do I really own this matter? You're continuously changing. This matter is continuously changing based on the food that you eat, based on your environment. Your body is continuously adapting and changing. There's atoms from around you mixing with the atoms of the body. So it would be really confusing to say like, hey, wait a second, that's my hydrogen atom. Give it back, table. Something like that. We can't say that we own an atom, right? Yet the body is composed of atoms, is made of atoms. So then which of those atoms do we actually own? We say, easily we say, that's my body. I am a man, but it's just atoms. So if you reflect on that deeper and deeper, you notice that, first of all, the body and all its various processes is not something that we actually own or do. Every single thing in the body is conditioned, like the growth of your hair is nothing you do, it just happens. Your breath, it just happens. Fortunately, it does that, because if you were to do it, you would have forgotten to breathe throughout the entire video until now, right? How about the nervous impulses that course through the body? The blood, the heart pumping, are you doing that? Are you performing the cleansing function of the liver? The cleansing function of the liver. Are you doing that? Are you digesting the food? Is it an activity that we do? No, there's nothing in the body that we actually do. So we can't really say that we own this body. You might say, well, we are inhabiting it, but I am certainly not the body, and the body is certainly not owned by me or controlled by me or governed by me. The same is true for our emotions. Our emotions are conditioned by other factors. They are created by what we see, hear, taste, smell, what we think about. That's creating an emotion, and the emotion comes and it goes. If you were the one that creates an emotion, well, next time you cry, try to stay. Decide, I'm going to stay crying for an hour now. If something makes you really sad, if something makes you laugh and you're in a happy emotion, try to keep it. Try to stay in that moment of happiness. Keep it. If you can keep it, then you could say, yes, you're owning it. But we can't. These things come and go. They pass through us. So it's really important to understand this properly. Requires proper reflection, deep reflection. The same is true for our thoughts. They're conditioned by the society we grew up in, by the culture, by the parenting that you received. You know, the way a Swiss person thinks is fundamentally different from the way a German thinks or an Asian thinks. There's different types of thoughts that are important. So the country you grew up in, the parents that you grew up with, and the media you consume throughout the entire course of your life until now, that determines what kind of thoughts you have. And you can see these thoughts, they just run. There's nothing much you can do about them. You can let them go, you can let them be, and you can realize, oh, thoughts are not who I am. They're just something that passes through. That is something that's second-hand. It's not made by me. It's not sustained by me. And it's not something that is made to go away by me. So understanding the body, the emotional, energetic, feeling complex, and the thought complex, the mental stuff. Understanding all three in terms of not me, not mine, leads to liberation, to freedom from those three conditions. So this is all about detachment. We're detaching from the body, we're detaching from emotions, we're detaching from thoughts. But be aware that one thing here, detachment does not mean indifference. I repeat, detachment is not indifference. It doesn't mean that you're becoming indifferent about your feelings or emotions. You also want to detach from indifference. Indifference is also something that's just conditioned. It comes and it goes. It is neither made by me, nor is it governed by me, nor is it made to pass away by me. It is just a condition that comes and that goes. Now, seeing that clearly must be preceded by a well-empowered mind. And that's why most people should actually, before they worry about these kind of higher questions of, am I the body, am I the mind, is there a me or not, before they actually go into these higher questions or these deeper levels, meditation subjects, you can say, they need to empower their mind. The knowing quality has to be stable. It has to be very clear. And when the knowing quality is both stable and clear, then we can see all these things arising and passing. But the knowing quality doesn't arise and pass with those things that we believe we are. So this is how we actually gain insight. You want to empower the knowing quality of the mind. That's why we practice breath meditation. We're stabilizing the knowing quality of the mind first before we direct it efficiently to these deeper truths, that whatever condition arises, it is just a condition that arises. It is neither me nor is it mine. So we're coming to an end of the episode 49. I hope it was in some way useful and beneficial. In essence, you want to first cultivate stillness in the mind and then use that stillness to look deeper and to answer the deeper questions of lives by direct experience in your meditation practice. If you do have any questions or comments, feel free to write them down in the comment section below. And as always, I hope you're curious and I hope you like that video. And well, I'm looking forward to see all of you again next Wednesday. And for now, I say bye-bye.